welcome to Chris Cook for You Too. Happy holidays from my house to yours. Today we're going to be doing gumbo. So I'm going to get started because this is kind of lengthy, but if you can get the roux right, then the whole dish will be superb. I'm going to get started with just showing you the things that you're going to need in order to do the gumbo. Then I'm going to go away, get my seasonings together, and I'll come back and we'll put this dish together. The first thing that you're going to do, and I'm using my roaster oven, is you're going to need a big enough container to hold the gumbo. So here I have my roasting pan. Now I haven't decided, or it's a roaster oven really, I haven't decided if I'm going to use it with or without this part being in it. But that's just the first thing that you're going to need. So come on over here and I'll show you the rest. You're going to need a pot of rice because rice is what you're going to serve your gumbo on. Then you will need garlic powder, black pepper. I'm using sea salt. You can use regular salt if you want. Thyme, rosemary, bay leaves, garlic, ground red pepper, parsley, onion powder, Creole seasoning. This is Zatarain ground filet, and you will need Old Bay seasonings. Now, you really don't need Lipton onion soup mix, but as you know, I put Lipton onion soup mix in everything, especially dishes like this, so I'm going to use it. Now, let's continue with the other items that you're going to need. Here I have my cast iron skillet on the stove heating, and the reason why I'm going to use this is because it has a high heat content. It can hold heat for a long period of time. You're going to need equal parts of your oil and your flour. And this is all-purpose flour, and please, when you're making your gumbo, do not use your olive oil. This is canola oil, and the reason why I'm using canola oil is because it can withstand the heat. So I want to be able to use something that can stand the heat, because once you make your roux, if you burn your roux, you have to start all over again. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. You might as well throw out your ingredients, which is your oil and your flour, and start all over again. You cannot use a burnt roux, and I don't know how much I can stress that. So I'm going to do the roux before you, so you'll see exactly how it goes. Now, as we continue, I am boiling my chicken parts, which I'm going to use thighs, chicken breast, and I also have some turkey necks in there. Now, my son makes the best gumbo in the world, and even though he's in Texas, I know he's going to watch this video in order to perfect. Last Christmas he was here with me. He made gumbo. He had turkey in it, and man, I told him, I said, you really need to market that, because he really makes the best gumbo in the world, and his wife is the best cook. So I want to say, before we get any further, kudos to my family. Woo woo, Tish and Charles. Now let's continue. Now, I have these parts in here that have already, as you can see, they've already started to just pull away from the bone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go away and I'm going to just shred it off of the bones. And you can use the same technique that we use for shredding chicken in the chicken and dumplings video. Now, here I have, this is chicken stock. Normally, I told you I freeze my chicken stock in the ice trays. Today, this is the chicken stock that was left from the chicken and dumplings. I froze it whole, and I would prefer to use my own chicken stock instead of using Swanson's, but I do have Swanson's as a backup. So I'm going to just lay this chicken stock in here, and once this chicken stock melts down, I'm going to shred the chicken, and I'm going to use this chicken stock to go into my gumbo. It'll give it a richer flavor, and it'll also give it a more of a homemade taste. Now let's continue around. because there's a lot of steps to gumbo. Now, here I have 2 types of shrimp, because when I got my shrimp, I'm like, okay, it looks like I'm gonna need just a little bit more. So as you can see a difference in color, and the only reason why you see that is because this is uncooked, this is cooked. So what I'm going to do is just put the uncooked in almost at the very end, let it cook a little while inside of the gumbo mix, and then I'm going to add this, so everything will kind of finish up at the same time. Now, here is my crab, and it's a lot of it, and my son told me that Dungeness crab is the best crab, and I believe him because his gumbo is fantastic. It's the best crab to use. So I did get the Dungeness crab, and I did pull it apart. But you know, with every recipe, you got to add your own little twist. So I also got me some crab legs, and I cut them. So as you can see, here's pieces that I cut. And what I did was I just cut it with my my kitchen shears. Okay, so we have that. Now I have here, let's start here. I have the Trinity, and the Trinity is peppers, celery, and onion. So whatever kind of peppers you're going to use, some people use red, yellow, and green. I just use the red for sweetness, and I use the green, which is, this is a bell pepper. Then here you have your celery, and over here you have your onions. Okay, I do have some lump crab that I am also going to put in this dish. Now, you don't have to put lump crab in. You don't have to put in 2 kinds of shrimps. You don't have to put in 2 types of crab. But this is what I'm doing. This is a dish that I'm going to be serving for my Christmas dinner, and I only do it once a year, so hey, why not go all out? Okay, again, this is just crab lumps, so I'm also going to put, this is crab claw meat, so I'm going to put that in the dish as well. Now, I do have the chicken broth for backup. I don't think that I'm going to need it, but I have it just in case I do need it. This is my sausage. I like kielbasa. My son told me to go with beef kielbasa because I wasn't going to go with beef kielbasa. Now, this particular sausage I am going to render, and that simply means that I'm going to cook it, kind of saute it on the stove so that I can take out all the fat, because I don't want any extra fat to be in my gumbo. So I'm going to saute that when I get ready to put it in the dish. Now, I did show you the pepper, and I didn't want to go with anything that was too hot, because I need the gumbo to be kid friendly, because I do have children here. So I went with the jalapeno pepper, and it's while it's hot, it's not really that hot. Now, of course, I have my cut up okra, which is here, and at the very end, I've already cubed some corn, and I did that myself into little pieces like that, and I'm going to add this at the very end when I get ready to add the cooked shrimp, because I've already cooked the corn. Now, now we're down to a matter of minutes, because everything has already been pre-done before I came on to show you how to do it. So once I get through with the roux, we can put this together very, very fast, and we can be enjoying dinner by dinner time. Okay, I'm going to get my seasonings ready, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, now we're back, and we're getting ready to start the roux. So I have the stove already on medium, and the oil is already hot because I did preheat my cast iron pot. So I'm going to start to make the roux, but before I start to make the roux, I want to show you something. I want to show you, see that fat that was in my sausage? So I'm going to take all of that fat, I'm going to take my sausage out because I didn't want to put that in my gumbo. And here, my rich stock is already ready for the next stage. So let's get started on making this. It's going to take me roughly about 20 minutes to get this made. We're going to add a little bit of the flour. You cannot walk away from this roux. You have to continually stir it, and you don't want to burn it. That's equal parts of oil and flour. So I'm adding a little bit at a time because I don't want to get those lumps in it. I want to make certain that there are no lumps. Okay. Now, this is the base or the foundation for your gumbo. If this step is wrong, you might as well throw this out and start all over again. Okay, and you cannot walk away and go and do something else. You gotta constantly stir this. Okay, now I'm gonna take this down as far as I can take it, as low as I feel comfortable with. The roux, as it goes down, it's gonna change in color. And what I'm looking for is not a milk chocolate. I'm looking for a little bit more than probably a kind of like a dark chocolate. Okay, so I'm gonna be here for 20 minutes doing this, and after this step is over, it's gonna be real easy. So I'll get back to you when we're ready to go to the next step. All right, I've been stirring for about 7 minutes, and I just want to show it to you. Okay, this is the first stage of the roux. This is not what we are looking for. So I'm going to continue to stir, but I just wanted to let you see it. This is kind of like just before a caramel. So that's where we are right now, and I'll continue. I want to also show you this because here's my sausage. I took my sausage out of the pan, and here is what I did not want. See, the grease that was in the sausage, I didn't want that. So I've taken that out, and my sausage is ready when everything else gets ready, and I'll get back at the second stage of the roux. Remember, keep a lookout. This is the first stage, and it's like a caramel. Okay, we're back, and let me just show you stage number 2. Now, you can stop it right here if you want to, but the darker the roux, the richer the gumbo. So I'm going to keep on going and taking it to stage 3. This is like your cocoa chocolate right here. Now, one of the reasons why you see me continually to stir this is because, one, definitely you don't want to burn it, but 2, this is the foundation for your roux. You don't want all those lumps in it, and you definitely don't want it to break apart. If you can notice, my oil and my flour has not broken. It looks like a creamy milk chocolate, and that's a good thing. This is exactly how it's supposed to look. So I'm going to take this just a little bit darker. I wanted to show you the stages, and I'll get back. Okay, I'm back, and as you can see, I've gotten a little bit darker. And this is as dark as I'm going to take this roux. It's mixed very well. And now, I'm going to get ready to add my vegetables. I have already took the chicken stock and poured it into my roasting oven. I'm just going to, I kept just enough chicken stock to kind of temper, because I'm going to have to transfer the sauteed vegetables over there. So this is enough, and I'm going to reduce the heat just a little bit because I don't want it to pop flare. Now I'm going to start to add my vegetables. My green peppers, my onions, my celery. I'm losing just a little bit of it. I don't want to do that. Okay. And I'm going to continue to mix this. Okay, now I'm going to let this just saute up for a few minutes. Oops. Okay. Now, I have the vegetables in, and as you can see, it is thickening up. Now my roux is starting to take on the that beautiful color. Okay, that beautiful deep dark color. Now in here I have the red pepper, I have the green pepper, I have the onions, and I have the celery. Okay, now just my heat down just a little bit more. Now I'm going to add my onions that are my green onions. Okay, smells delicious. See, it's still getting darker. And I'm going to add that jalapeno pepper. Okay. Now, I might have enough room. That is a beautiful caramel color. And I know you can see it. It's a dark, kind of chocolatey caramel type color. Beautiful. Has a very good smell. But I do want to tell you, when you're making the roux, you need plenty of ventilation. So if your stove don't have a vent on it, you might want to open up a window or open up a door or something. Okay, now we have that down. And that is cooking, and it looks beautiful. See? It's a deep, dark chocolate, but it is beautiful. I'm going to stir this just a couple of more minutes on this stove. I want to have just a little bit of crunch in my vegetables. So I'm going to stir it just a couple more minutes on the stove. Man, it has a good smell to it, and oh my goodness. And then I have just a little bit of chicken stock right here. And what I'm going to do with that, you just see some small pieces of the chicken that's left in there. I'm going to temper this by just pouring that over in here and then taking it and transferring it over to my other pot. Now, we can pretty much put the car on cruise because we can cruise it the rest of the way. The hard work is done. That is making the roux. So once you perfect that, the rest of it is just, I mean, like I said, you can put the car on cruise because that's the hard part. And everything else is easy after that. Okay, so I'm going to transfer this into the other pot and I'll get back. Okay, now I've just put everything that was all of my vegetables, I've just put them over into the chicken stock because I had the chicken stock cooking in this big container. I just took the roux and the vegetables and I added them into this big container. So it has not come up to a boil yet because whenever you mix liquids, you know, it takes a minute before it comes back up to the boil. So I'm just going to go ahead and put in the rest of my seasonings. Here we have a teaspoon of Creole seasoning. We have a teaspoon of Old Bay, salt and pepper to taste, and of course I will test that, you know, and make certain that it's to my liking. I have my onion powder, and what you see swimming is just 2 bay leaves because I did go ahead and put them in. And I also put in some minced garlic because I already had it minced. And I did not add the minced garlic in when I was cooking, adding the vegetables to the roux because garlic burns fast. And I did not want it to burn, so I just waited until I got to this side and then I put it in over here. And this is onion powder. And it's not a lot. Okay. Now, I'm going to let this just come up to a boil. I've already cooked my chicken and I've already done my sausage, so I'm not going to put it in right now. I'm going to wait about 20 minutes to give all of these seasonings a chance to kind of marinate and mix together. Then I'm going to add the rosemary, the thyme. I'm going to add the parsley, there's 2 other seasonings. Oh, the cayenne pepper, and of course I'm going to add the filet. So that I will do. Probably won't come back on camera and do it. I'll probably just do that. But then the next step is to start to add the meat. So I won't do that now. I'm going to allow this to just cook, and I'm going to allow it to cook open with no top on the top of this pot. I also did not put in my secret seasoning, which is my Lipton onion soup mix, but I'm going to wait a minute until after I taste it. Okay, we'll get back. Now we're back, and as you can see, it has had a chance to simmer, and it's looking really, really good at this point. So now we're going to add our sausage, and I didn't need to add the sausage on the other side so it could saute with everything, because if you remember, I cooked it already. I did saute it so I could take the grease out. So I'm going to put in the sausage. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my shredded chicken, and that's chicken, shredded thighs, which is the breast and the thighs, and then of course I have the chicken necks, I'm sorry, the turkey necks that I shredded as well as per my son. Okay, and it's really beginning to take shape. But as you can see, it's rich and it's creamy, so it's really looking good. Now, all of this stuff has been pre-cooked, as you know, so I'm going to wait about 5 minutes. I'll come back, and then I'll start to add my shrimp and my crab legs. Now, I'll take this out when we get to the end process, because I want to get all of the flavorings that the bay leaf have inside. Okay? We'll get back. Okay, now we're going to add our okra. Okay. And I'm going to wait 5 minutes more. And then I'm going to add the shrimp. And I won't come back, you know, to add the shrimp. I'll come back when I get ready to add that last little part, that cooked shrimp. But look at it. Okay, now you see it has a little richness to it, a thickness to it. That's good, but when this okra starts to cook loose, it's gonna add even more of a thickness to it. And you see the sausage, and you see the parts of the turkey and the parts of the chicken. So we'll get back. All right, now I've gotten to the part where as I'm getting ready to add these crabs, and we're putting them in right now. And as you can see, I have big clusters. Okay, and these are the dungeness crab as well as the regular crab legs, and I just washed them off, and now I'm putting them into the gumbo. All right, now we still have to, and as you can see, I put a couple of shrimp over in here, maybe about 5 or 6, but I only put them in so now I want those to pull apart, and I want the actual seafood part of the gumbo to start coming in. This looks really, really good. 3 more things to add, and we'll get back in a minute. Okay, now we're just putting in the shrimp. And we're going to put the corn over in as well. I was trying to get all of the uncooked shrimp out, but a couple of the cooked shrimps fell in there, but that's okay. Okay, so that's in. And now we're going to add the corn. And the only thing else that I need to add to this is just the cooked shrimp. And then I'll show you the finished product. I want to stir this in. Alrighty. Now that looks real good. Okay. We'll get back. Okay, the gumbo is finished, and as you can see, it came out beautifully. We do have the sausage as well as the shredded meat. We do have the crab claws that are down in here. I was trying to pull one up. There it is. Right there on the end, as well as the corn, and we have lump crab in here. We have everything inside of this, and I do believe that this dish is going to be really, really good. All right, I'm making this dish on Saturday. I'm not making it on Christmas Day because I do want to enjoy my Christmas. I'd like to say thank you to all of my viewers. I really do appreciate you watching with me. I want to say thank you to my son because he shared this recipe with me, and I hope I did not change it too much, but of course that's what mothers do. I also want to give thanks to my father because he came that I may have life and I may have it more abundantly. So tomorrow when you celebrate the holidays, please remember that Jesus is the reason for the season. Bye! Happy holidays!